Welcome to Chefs in the City. I'm Ann Fisher along with my co-hosts Steve Stover and Rich Tarapack. 2025 is shaping up to be another banner year on the Columbus restaurant scene. We're talking about what's new, what's returning, what's expanding, what's good to eat.
Lots of stuff.
There's so much, and so
Lots of stuff.
Busy.
It's super busy. So I'm going to start it off with saying, you guys, I want to know what's at the top of your list to talk about. What's the thing you're most excited about?
I think the Mezzi opening is. I'm sorry, I'm not microphone. Is probably the biggest event of at least June.
Yes,
and
maybe the year.
And it is. Steve and I have been there with our wives and had a wonderful experience. And to have a new restaurant in that great facility is just terrific. And with an Italian
Flyer.
Yeah, it is. It's so well done. I'm anxious to get back there and try all those pastas.
it's at 36 East Lincoln in Italian Village.
Well, maybe we can double back and dive because it's interesting riffs on traditional welcoming dishes. For me, we finally hit our stride for this year. We've had some activity, but we're hitting the big. We have two important new restaurants with Mezzi and Andrew Smith's Isla, plus the return of some of our favorites that have been closed for months and even years. So we'll get to that. Starting the year off.
I'm sorry, we have a national award winner too of Chouette.
Yes.
We may have talked a little bit about that before, but we hope to get their chef on pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And earlier this year, we had Mastro's, the high-end steakhouse in the former McCormick and Schmick's spot in Easton. Beautiful place, high-end steakhouse.
I don't get it. McCormick and Schmick's leave Easton. It's a high-end steakhouse.
Well, I thought it was more of a seafood place myself.
Okay.
So, but how many new steakhouses do we have this year?
Yeah, I guess, you're right. You're right. It was more of a seafood. Yeah, okay. So
big year for steakhouses.
And a lot of
high
steaks.
end. I mean,
Yeah.
What's the national chain?
Morton's? No,
Something grilly.
Something
what?
grilly.
The grill.
Something grilling.
Well, we'll move on.
Butcher and Rose, and at least 5 new steakhouses.
Fancy ones.
So we have Mastro's.
Steak implies fancy in its way.
We still eat beef, and as I said earlier, it's particularly during Arnold Week.
Yes. And then Grandview Vinoteca, a nice little wine bar from the folks that have one at Bridge Park.
And the Goodie Shop.
Oh, the Vinoteca. Yeah.
The Goodie Shop at Upper Arlington's Tremont Center expanded its space and menu. You can get like a quiche to go, not just the
cinnamon things.
The addictive cinnamon sticks.
Yeah. Well, I like their decorated cookies just because there's something in me that loves a good decorated cookie.
Yeah.
But right, they've got it all.
And then Bake Me Happy, the famous gluten-free bakery, opened a gluten-ish cafe in the core. Called Core Cafe in the new Upper Arlington Community Center, the Bob Crane Community Center, featuring baked goods and sourdough pizza.
And anybody can go in there even if you're not a member?
Anybody can go into the restaurant.
Yeah.
You have to be a member to get beyond the front desk. It's a terrific facility.
But you don't have to join it to be to go to the restaurant. Okay.
And then
for those of you who have Medicare and silver sneakers, no matter where you live, you don't have to live in Arlington. You can join for free.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yep. And Biddy and Bo's Coffee is one of my favorites.
I've been there.
In Kingsdale. It's a national chain, but they employ people with disabilities. It's a wonderful thing.
Intellectual disabilities. A good friend, Liam Maloney, is working there. So we went there to show their support on their soft openings, and it's delightful.
It's cute.
It's lovable. Yeah.
So now, good news: the legendary Danube, Blue Danube,
otherwise known as the Dube.
The Blue Dube.
Is, for former Ohio State students, it's a legend. Quietly opened this spring in its former location.
What do we know? Who, what, where, when, and
we
why?
know that there's some of the they've redone it, and some of the same old dishes are going to be
Okay.
there, but some new. They wanted to update it a little bit.
Did
I
they
think.
clean it up inside?
Yes.
Okay, I haven't been, so
We used to. All the fraternity boys would go there on Sunday night when the kitchen was closed.
okay.
And,
It
and
frightens me to even think about that.
And the pizza was very good
Yeah.
and extremely greasy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything was.
Ergo good, but so they've kind of freshened it
So
up.
we're having. This is one of the ones where you got the return of some old greats. Another one that's coming in August, Hunan Lion.
So
So-
they say.
That's all.
Well, they gave us an extended prediction
Okay.
because they still have to go through some inspection. It closed in 2023 due to a fire in the kitchen because of the burner was left on, and it was a mess. And ever since, I call about every 3 months, but
Yeah.
I try to keep up.
They
with
were
them.
talking about opening over the holidays, and they
yeah.
just had to back away from that. And it made me feel so badly for them
Yeah.
because they want to get open again. What in the heck?
And I tried
Probably
at
an
least
inspection issue at that time.
And I tried at least 10 Chinese places. And there some were really good. And
Yeah.
I'll go back to some, but this is still the font of Chinese cuisine, at least in the northwest part. And,
Yeah.
and Chinese restaurants are sort of regional. You know, you go to one that's close to your house.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
it doesn't travel.
Kind of like pizza. If you're lucky enough to be crawling distance to JT's, like I am.
Yeah, exactly. Now we get to June and things
Okay.
really start to pop. Rich mentioned B.J. Lieberman's Mezzi's.
Mm-hmm.
We went there last night and we had some focaccia with whipped
Feta.
feta. No,
It was feta.
feta.
Yep, and a little olive oil in it.
Sounds
was yummy.
wonderful.
The arancini were very good. If you know arancini, they usually look about the size of a
Smoked mushroom arancini.
yeah.
Okay, you had some of those smoked mushrooms.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're not the baseball size.
By the way, BJ Lieberman's coming up in a future episode
Yeah.
for listeners. This is going to drop before
Fried
that.
calamari,
Yeah.
classic. And then
a grilled Caesar.
Yeah. You should have
That was
tried
my
that.
favorite.
Okay.
that you just think of a Caesar salad, but think with a little bit of smoke on it.
Yeah.
He said he didn't smoke it, but they put it briefly on the grill. What I do, and it's Rich's recipe, I put a little olive oil on a half of a romaine lettuce and put it on the grill and close the lid for a few minutes.
Okay.
And then you get some smoke, not too much wilting. So
You just do it by the leaf,
no,
the whole
half
thing.
of
Gotcha,
the
gotcha, gotcha. Okay.
At low heat
Yeah.
on that.
So
Okay.
what else, Rich?
Well, we talked about Andrew Smith before in his opening.
He was on our podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is opening, or is it open, Steve?
It will open in late June, I think.
Okay. In Marion Village, Isla, with fixed menu for just 16 diners. Pretty exciting.
It's sort of like a location for pop-up dinners.
Yeah. Well, that's what he did. He did pop-up dinners in his home. I can't the name of the street, Roy's. They call it the Roy's Avenue thing. And then this is in a real restaurant, and it's a fairly spare space, but it's big. It'll be interesting to see this restaurant with 16 people. That has a bar, and but he is a brilliant chef.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so great to have him back on the scene.
Yeah. He was lovely. Very much. A lot of fun to talk to. Chef Onette.
Oh my gosh!
Tell us
it's gonna
about what
open
is
again?
Chef Onette. It sounds sort of 1950ish.
It is 50s.
Okay.
A guy named Harlan Howard opened it,
He sounds like,
and
50-ish.
well, you,
Lucy and Desi.
Yeah, right.
but you're right. And you go in the door. There's these two counters, and they have the
Formica.
formica with the boomerangs on it, like we
Oh,
had in the
yeah,
19
yeah. The kind of that
I mean, it's so iconic.
that atomic era atomic. Yeah.
And my dad and Fred Taylor and Dr. Long went there every day.
And so
every
we're going
workday.
way back here.
This is in the mid 50s.
Okay.
And the secret thing is the hangover sandwich.
Okay.
It's basically bologna on a burger,
Okay.
but it's uber popular.
I can see why it's
But
secret.
apparently Dr. Jones prescribed it for hangovers. So,
But,
okay.
it's a cute little place.
Okay.
And how many generations of Stover men have gone in? My grandpa, my dad,
So
me, my son, and my grandsons.
It's opening up. Are they reopening the same
Okay,
location? or-
the second Harlan Howard's son kept it going, and it was finally he sold it last year to Old Bag of Nails, and they're freshening it up, and then they're supposed to reopen it this summer.
Okay.
Open.
Gotcha.
We're hoping the Formica survived, but
I think we'll take our Romeo group there for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
and then Ray Ray's Hog Pit is going to open 2 brick and mortars, one on North High Street in mid to late June, and another one in Marion.
Yeah. Really spreading out
Now,
there.
I don't know if one of them is maybe called Ray Ray's Hog Pit, but one of them is going to be called Ray Ray's Ohio Style Barbecue, and I'll be interested to talk.
What
to
does that mean?
James Anderson is the owner.
Ray Ray's. Yeah.
Right now, he has a
one of the nominees for the James
another James
Beard.
Beard, so we
Yeah.
got to get him.
Semifinalists. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could do talk. We will have an upcoming program with Jim Boudros, the one of the co-founders of City Barbecue, coming up for listeners. If you want to look for that in coming weeks, but we didn't get to really talk to him writ large about the other barbecue places in Central Ohio. And
there are a number of them
There's
now.
so much now
And
that
it's good.
It's all good.
Oh gosh, there are probably a dozen that,
Yeah.
that are good, and I think City Barbecue is what drove the change in the
Kinda
culture.
cracked
that,
the nut,
that
yeah.
people
Yeah. Well put.
learned to love good barbecue, and then that spawned more places.
Yeah.
So there's a Cincinnati steakhouse that's coming on board.
This is just a news flash, and I don't know where I found it, but Lo Santi, which is a Cincinnati steakhouse, and will open a second location, the Gravity Complex. It's a big complex on West Broad Street, just west of the,
Oh,
Junta?
just
In
north of the Hunter,
Franklinton.
but just west of the museum,
Okay.
the
Okay.
Veterans Museum.
and the COSI and all of it. Yeah. Okay.
And I don't know much more about it, but
All right.
Another steakhouse.
Another steakhouse. Yeah.
another Cincinnati steakhouse. Remember Jeff Ruby's
Right.
home base is Cincinnati, so
And we lost a Cincinnati restaurant last week when Nada closed.
yes,
Yeah.
And it's too bad. It was a very nice place.
Yeah, I liked it.
it was Mexican.
Yeah.
It was kind of haute Mexican.
Yeah, it was. We just had
Where was
a
it?
meal there, right down in the arena district,
Yeah.
right across the street from Nationwide Arena,
Yeah.
and then on your way to the lower.com and the base.
Was
and,
it on
and-
Nationwide Boulevard?
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was Kitty. But what were some of the dishes?
They had classic Mexican
all kinds of
dishes,
great
yeah.
tacos, street tacos, all kinds of stuff like
Enchiladas,
that.
yeah,
All the usual, you
but,
know.
But in kind of a high-end setting.
Yeah, it's a nice setting, and they had a beautiful patio outside. Now we kind of wonder what's going to move in.
Right.
The last time I was there, well, of course, that was the night of the Cincinnati Columbus Crew game, so it was packed. So, but I don't know. I don't know much about why they're leaving.
It's a great space
Yeah.
and it should be a good location. So, and they were there for 10 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't just an overnight.
No, they had a good, nice margarita, nice craft margarita. So
Oh, one more
I'll vouch
notable
for that.
closing is Marcella's closed, the one in the short north, only to be refreshed.
Really? Okay.
A couple times over my career doing restaurant reviews, I say something is closed.
Yeah, it's
then people freak out,
temporarily.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is just a
And Cameron's been doing that. What was the other location in the short north? They did that to Martini's.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Reopened, very nice.
I haven't been in since. So,
Steve's tapping his nails again.
am I? Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna let's see.
That's pretty much what's new.
Yeah.
Now we got some stuff coming along.
Well, I want to know what Bar Italia is going to be like. Chris Duty's.
Lindy's Bravo Brio.
Yeah.
Bar
It's opening up
Italian.
in Easton.
It's opening up in Easton in the old Smith and Walensky space on the Circle, and
Can always use another Italian place.
it has been described as sort of upscale Italian, and we certainly have great Italian restaurants.
Yeah, another Italian. Yeah.
And remember, some of his background is in Bravo and Brio too, and so I think we'd call it much anticipated.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. We already talked about Smith and Walensky. Asta, a new rooftop bar. We're going to do a show on rooftops coming up.
Right.
But
There's Lumen, which is the rooftop bar in
AC.
AC Hotel downtown.
okay.
Remember, the AC Hotel at Bridge Park has Vaso, which is another. And we went there together, and we thought it was pretty good. But for whatever reason, it's been about 3 or 4 years. They're redoing it. And instead of being called Lumen, it's going to be called Asta.
Okay.
ASTA,
Gotcha.
maybe as an astrological. And that'll open in July.
So that's just west of the North Market, essentially, if you're looking for it. Yeah. Okay. And how about Josh Dalton? What's he doing?
Oh, well, he owns Veritas and Spec at the corner of Gay and High. And he just announced he owns Veritas. He owns Citizens Trust, the most beautiful bar in the Midwest.
Yes.
It's a huge bank lobby that's with soft furniture and a fun bar. And then Spec is a really approachable Italian on High Street, just north of Gay.
The Mexican place.
It's going to be a Mexican cake. I think it's called Talitas or something. Not Talitas, and it's going to be at Gay and High.
Yeah,
It's going to be right where Chouette is.
Yeah.
Right in that
same corner.
The old
Madison's.
Madison's.
Oh, the old
department store.
Madison's.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they say it's going to have a patio. This is a little bit further off. They say it's going to have a patio, and I don't know where they're going to put the patio unless it's in Pearl Alley.
Well, it's great that they've had such success with that corner. You can't get into Spec almost. Hanks is always busy. Chouette just got this national French restaurant award winner as one of the best in the country, and it's kind of dressing up downtown.
Well, it's the culinary center of Columbus now.
Yeah.
All thanks to Jeff Edwards of the Edwards Companies, who we as we talked about in a previous episode, 3 of the top 5 new restaurants in Columbus are his.
Yeah.
Or in his buildings.
Yeah.
He's not the restaurateur. They're in buildings, and so Gay and High has become the new place. Not with Veritas, Citizens Trust, Spec, Hanks, Chouette, and then Gay Street.
And then everything down Gay Street,
Yeah, east of High Street on Gay, and I think Jeff is moving toward setting up almost a pedestrian area, so you can part of Gay Street will be taken over by the restaurant.
You talked to him, didn't you, recently?
No, no, I didn't, but you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I had lunch with him at Fox in the Snow, the beloved bakery cafe, is adding a 6th location in Westerville.
Wow.
The original one is on North 4th,
Still.
and then there's one in German Village, kitty corner from
South Village Grill.
South Village Grill, and then there's one a very popular one up in beautiful downtown Dublin, right around the corner from Tucci's. So great pastries and just a real comfortable atmosphere. People go and sit.
Right.
They don't mind if you sit.
And relax.
For those of you who get kind of scared about walking around robots on the Ohio State campus delivering food.
Pizza.
We have the next iteration of that is going to be Donato's at the airport. It'll be totally robotic.
Has it opened?
Yes, it has.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I haven't been there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means totally robotic, and so you put your order into a machine.
They have 2 kinds of pizza, and they take 5 minutes.
Okay, well that's
It does everything. Puts the pepperoni on.
It's keeping it pretty simple though. It's not like they're doing anything special. But okay, well,
And we've got Smith & Wollensky, which is closed in Easton and is going to open in downtown Columbus. Now, this is long awaited now.
Is that at the
Inside the Hyatt Regency.
across from Jeff Ruby's, right?
And they're going to have a high-end steakhouse in the Hyatt and across from Jeff Ruby's.
and Fire is in the Hilton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just up the road.
just up the road. So
I'm next door almost.
yeah, they're stocking up on places to eat. I think, partly I'm kind of starting to get the sense about down there is they're trying to really build up the stock of places because they need to sell this area for big conventions.
Yeah.
And they've
got the rooms now, 1,000 rooms.
They've got the rooms, and now
Hilton.
they need the restaurants.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be an
Well,
interesting.
it's pretty dense restaurant if you go up High Street there.
There's
Char Bar, Martini, and close to the Pearl. Another
Guild.
Cameron Mitchell's
Guild House.
which is in the hotel. And that's
And El Vaquero is now on the cap.
no.
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Well, they've got that parlay, which is a
That's just like a
Sports
musical
bar.
chairs on the cap
yeah,
there.
It is.
Is Hyatt's? No. I mean, is there the
I just saw
steakhouse
it
still there?
yesterday.
Hyde Park.
Hyde Park,
Hyde Park
right.
is still
And
there.
then they've
That's
got
probably the
another-
most successful in that.
They've already got another high. They've got a wine room,
Okay.
and they had an offshoot. So the whole northwest side of the cap is more or less Hyde Park, and then the east side is just changed constantly. And that parlay is a new, super large sports bar by the same people that own Fireproof and Gala Steakhouse.
Okay.
It's a group.
What's going into the old Rigsby El Segundo space? Do we have it?
I thought it was a Japanese concept.
Huh, really?
Although another Japanese concept, 1126, which is
sushi?
1126 North High Street sushi place, closed.
I know, and I'm disappointed about that because it was a great place to it was a great place to go before Short North Stage.
Yes.
So
And was there an Amasaki restaurant, I think, is in the Rigsby space.
I thought they did a great job at 1126, so I don't know what the deal was there. It's all a mystery to me.
Yeah, and it would be nice to have some other restaurants available. Well, you've got Midwest Caddy Corner from North Stage.
Midwest?
Midwest Distillery and the bar that's there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Midwest Spirits,
Midwest Spirits.
where the restaurant,
There's a parking lot right next door. They've changed their menu a good deal. It's much less expensive than it was under the former chef.
Was this the table where the table was, or?
the table is now a guy, Plas, as in
Oh,
mise en
that's right,
place.
Plas, right.
And it was a notable chef who was with Cucina. And he took some of his ideas, including making your own sausage, making your own cheese, and Jamie's his name. And that's a good little place. They have nice little wine dinners. But at Midwest Spirits, it was service bar.
Okay.
When
that's right.
they first opened,
When Avishar
it
was
was Avishar was the
Brewery,
chef.
yeah.
And he made it a top 10 restaurant immediately. And then they've been through several chefs, including a guy named Chris Connolly, who was at the Greenbrier, who came and then left. And I'm glad to hear that they're back open and doing good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that is our catch-up program for all of our regular listeners. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. It's been great as usual.
Always fun.
And as usual, I'm hungry. So that's it for now. Thanks for joining us. Remember, a meal is best shared. So share this with your friends and family. You can find us on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. What else do I want to tell them? You can find us on Facebook with Ann Fisher Chefs in the City. It's not because it's my Chefs in the City, but that was what we could find on Facebook to call it.
It starts with an A.
And it starts with an A. And then you can
Yellow Pages.
you can email us at chefsinthecity111@gmail.com. So thanks again for joining us and take care.
Boxland Media. Think big.